What we're going to talk about today is the new Brivity Facebook ads beta. It's a beta tool, but we built a system where basically any of your listings, you can come in and you can very easily run Facebook advertising for that listing, to get an ad out there with data from the MLS. It's a really simple system for generating Facebook leads using your listings. And so as we come in here, what I'd like to show you guys today is how you use it. Some of the results we've been seeing so far, which are a little bit staggering to me. I'm still kind of shocked by this. I've been doing this for 20 years, and these are probably the most affordable leads we've ever seen. I'm super excited to get it into your guys' hands. So I'm going to kind of show you what that's going to look like and how you're going to get your hands on it. If you are here with us today and you are not a Brivity client, I want to kind of be upfront with you. You have to have a Brivity website in order to use this Facebook tool that we built. And so we're going to go through this thing. At the end, I will kind of let you know, because about half of our audience that signed up for this webinar are not customers. So I'll let you know at the end, like how you can engage with us if you wanted to get a Brivity website to be able to take advantage of this Brivity Facebook tool. And we call this Brivity Marketer. This is a component of our Brivity Marketer platform, which up until basically today, and some of you, there's actually some people that have been doing this in beta for the last couple of weeks, a big group that's been doing it in beta for about 5 days since late last week. Well, this is a function of our Brivity Marketer platform. Brivity Marketer for us up until a week ago was essentially our postcard tool, where you could go in and do direct mail marketing for your just listeds and your just solds. So this is kind of another addition to Brivity Marketer. So let's get in here, and hi, Anthony up there in Vancouver, and Yvette, Simi Valley. Ooh, go Canada. We got lots of Canadians in the room today. That's fantastic. I'm 20 miles from our border with you guys here in Bellingham, Washington. And I was telling James, we're going to jump in here in just a second. I was telling James, I feel like I'm playing an away game. Normally when we do these webinars, I'm in a different office here in our building, and my office was commandeered by a bunch of my colleagues today. So they booted me down the road here. It's like my desk's different. It's an away game for me. So I apologize in advance, but we're going to dive in here and look at Brivity Facebook Marketer. So the screen I'm showing you guys right now this is actually a test account that we use, and we're running ads right now on this test account. And these are the leads that we've had so far this morning. And I think today's the 13th. Yeah, like there were some leads kind of in the middle of the night. Some came in really early leads. We've already had 6 leads just today from a couple of campaigns. I'm going to show you guys these campaigns running, or we'll show you kind of the back end that shows them live and active. But I said this already. I've been doing this for 20 years. I can remember way back when we used to have to upload all of our ads to Google, and it would take many hours to see results from these ads. And it just, the speed at which you can get an ad out here, and what we've seen so far, the speed at which you can start to generate these really affordable leads in your business, it is staggering to me. So without any further ado, let's show you guys how you even access Brivity Marketer if you've never done it before. So if you've never set up Brivity Marketer for yourself, from inside of the Brivity CRM, we have this little thing called the App Store. And so on the left-hand navigation here, you can click the App Store, and then you're going to come in here to Brivity Marketer, and you're going to hit View Details, and then you're going to click right here. And if you've never done this before, you would just come in here and put in the email address that you log into Brivity. Now, you have to be either an account owner or an admin level user in order to set Marketer up for this first time, but it sends you an invite. You go into your email, click that invite, you're into Marketer, and it actually takes you through this little 4-step process to set your account up that really kind of brings you into these areas right here inside the settings. But it's this kind of walks you through it, and it has you set up a bunch of customization for if you're ever going to do just listed or just sold postcards. Now, you may never do that, but you still got to go through those steps in order to get to a point where we can then go in and run the Facebook ads, right? That's just a function of getting marketers set up the first time. So you're going to go through this process where you're setting up some customizations in a profile with a bunch of information in here. The most important step during all of this is to make sure at the point where you get to where you're entering your MLS information, you actually get your MLS information in there. And I'll give you guys a little secret, like you got to get these numbers right. And if you don't get these numbers right, your MLS agent ID, it will not pull that stuff into, it won't pull your listings into Brivity. And you can reach out to our support team and they'll always kind of can track down what your MLS agent ID is. The easiest way for you to find it yourself, and some of you guys, you log in with some number on your MLS, it's not actually your agent ID. If you were to find one of your listings on your Brivity website, you can always come down and right here kind of on the listing page down here below where it says about the listing, if you just highlight right there, this is your office MLS ID is the first number, and your second number is your agent MLS ID. Now this particular property is listed by this agent 105958. It's co-listed by 43661. So I'm going to use 105958 if this was my listing, right? And inside of Brivity Marketer here, I'm going to say, all right, I'm a member of the Northwest MLS and 105958. That's my MLS agent ID. When I do that, then what's going to happen is in this listings section of Marketer, it's going to pull in all your stuff, everything that we can find for you in the MLS, including all your sold listings, any pendings that you have, and then any actives. And this filter right up here is going to allow us, because generally I think we're probably going to, especially right now and the kind of the ad sets that we've created already, you are going to be running ads on active listings. Now, we're going to have some stuff in the future where you can run them on pendings and solds, right? And try to maybe generate home value leads when you sell a house for, but right now the ad sets are generally set up around our active. So I'm going to come in here and say, show me my active listings. And, we test and we've got a bunch of different things in here, but this is the listing that I'm after today. So I'm going to run an ad on this property here in Blaine. And here it is, right? Once I kind of get this set up, once I get my MLS information in place in here, the system's going to go out, find those properties in the MLS, going to pull them in here, and they're going to be ready now to run an ad. And so all I'm looking for, I can click up here on the picture or down here on the little dots, and I'm just going to say, I want to create an ad. So when I get in here and do this, the very first thing I need to do is I need to come up with this little pencil icon, and I need to click on that. Now, if you have never done it before, on your first time doing it, essentially what it's going to do there is it's going to ask you to log into your Facebook, right? And it's if you've ever been on a website anywhere and had to log into your Facebook, it's going to pop up a window. It's going to make you log into Facebook, which for me, I'm always logged in on my phone. I had to try to figure out what my password even was, right? But it's going to get you in there. It's going to connect your Facebook account to this, to our system. Now, you have to have a business page tied to that Facebook account, right? The ads that we're going to run are going to run from your business page. And essentially what you're doing is you're connecting that business page to us to allow us to post those ads through on behalf of your business page inside of Facebook. Now, I've already connected our account here, and these are all of the different Facebook pages that I have tied to this login on Facebook. And so if I wanted to use one of these other pages where I have not accepted the terms, I do have to go and accept the Facebook terms. It kind of pops up this Facebook window where I have this little drop down to decide which of my pages am I accepting the terms on behalf of. And so we've already done that for this one here. So I'm just going to say, all right, this is the page that I want to run my ads from. And some of you guys might have, a business page for one area of town, a business page for another area of town, or different expansion locations, or some of you might even have kind of business pages that are geographic specific. And so you might be running ads from different pages. So each time you run an ad, you can kind of determine which page is that ad going to come from. Janelle, yeah. So Janelle, we've already got some people who are like, I want to follow along. I want to do this. Here's the deal. Not everybody's turned on, okay? But after we go through this, I'm going to tell you how you get this turned on. Basically, up until today, anybody that's previously run a Brivity Marketer postcard campaign, their stuff has been turned on. Okay, and we'll tell you how you guys can get your stuff, Jeanette or Janelle, how you can get yours turned on. So you're going to see what I see and what I'm going to show you here in a second. So I come in here and say, yep, that's the page that I want to run this thing from. Now the next little really the only other selections I'm going to make, right, is what do I want that headline of the ad to be? And what that headline ends up being is kind of this kind of main phrase that we see right here. And we've been playing around with these. How about view, price, and photos, and more instantly, right? Let's say I picked that headline, and if I had an open house this weekend, I might do an I think there was invited to an open house, right? Take a virtual tour of home, check out this home that just hit the market, right? That might be a good ad for some of you guys that are in these crazy low inventory markets, like I know many of Ben Kinney's teams are, and probably many of the people on this call are. In fact, I don't know if I've talked to somebody in the last 2 months that hasn't said, yeah, we're in one of these crazy markets. So I pick my headline. The next thing I can do then is I can adjust or edit the content of the description that we pull in from the MLS. So, if I had an open house on this thing or something, I might come up here and say open house, Saturday, 1 to 4 or something like that, right? But I'm going to play around in here, and I could shorten this. I could, maybe pull up some of the highlights. I could rewrite this thing. Many of the people that have been running these are just running them with whatever that description was right out of the MLS. But I can make some changes there and save that. And then I decide which of the images from the MLS do I kind of want to use as that hero image. And probably 8 times out of 10, it's going to be that one that you picked as the first image out of the MLS anyways. But, gosh, if I had a really awesome Bayview property or something, I might want to go get the actual view photo, or I can just decide which of those photos is going to load up first when that ad hits. From there, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to decide how long do I want to run this ad for. And right now, the minimum amount of time is 7 days. Okay. And then I got to pick a daily budget, and the minimum is $10. So we've been doing a lot of testing with this. And what we have found is that when you set a kind of a total budget at about $100, there seems to be this break point. And look, Facebook is one of these things where it's a lot like Google used to be for me back in the SEO days, where Facebook never tells us, right? Google never used to tell us what the deal was on SEO, and Facebook doesn't actually tell you a whole lot, right? But in the ads we've been testing, when we put in budgets that are up over $100, it feels like there's some acceleration point there. Now look, the ad that we saw those leads from earlier today, that ad was running on a budget at $70 or something like that. But so you're basically going to pick your duration, your daily budget that you want to spend, right? Now, we do add a service fee on that, right? And if you're a Brivity client, there's no charge for having this thing except for when you run ads. Okay, so we do add a service fee onto that thing. It's 20%. You can see it right here. We lay it out for you. And as long as you're good with, the headline you picked, you've got it connected to your page there, you come in here, you make some adjustments there, you pick your photo. And unfortunately right now, Elizabeth, there is not a way to upload a custom image on this thing. But I do know that is something we have on our roadmap. But in this first beta version, Jonathan, it's not a sales pitch, man. It's a tool that you can use, buddy. If you want to use it, awesome. If you don't, that's awesome too. But as I mentioned at the very beginning, you do have to be a Brivity client with the Brivity website. I'm going to show you in a second why that is, right? I mean, in theory, we could run these things for anybody, but we set it up like this for one very particular reason. I'm going to show you that here in just a minute. So once I'm good there, I just come in here and say, all right, I'm good. It's going to make sure I have a credit card on file, and I'm going to go ahead and say, yep, do it. And my ad is going to be kind of out there and running. Now it's going to show me a little bit of a preview of this ad. Okay. And then I can actually come over here and view this ad or any other ads. Oh, look at that. That I'm running here on this ads page that Janelle was not seen earlier, but this paid ads page. So we landed here right now. And you can see I actually ran an ad on this last night, and I've been running another, and we just launched this ad. Now, when you first launch this ad, it's going to be paused, and it's going to be like that while Facebook moderates and reviews the ad to make sure it's okay. We've seen these things take as little as like 2 or 3 minutes to get approved, and we've seen them take as long as I think one of them took like 18 hours. I don't know what Facebook's doing over there. You know, we're running the same types of ads, their properties. I have to imagine over time they'll get kind of used to us sending ads up to them, and we'll see this kind of process before the ad goes active get greatly reduced, the amount of time it takes. These ads are running on Facebook and Instagram, okay, and they're off and running. Now, this is a beta, and right now there's something happening here. Like these leads that we saw in Jared's account here are actually leads that came from one of those ads that doesn't show me in here having any leads. And again, it's a beta, we're getting this fixed, but when I come in here and I see these leads that are landing here, they actually get tagged with the address of the property that the lead was generated from. And so we can see, you know, these are all like that 4407 Harborview Drive, this K Zimmel lead came in off of my 4407 Harborview Drive. It doesn't show her lead in here. In the back of our Facebook, it's showing it. And so our developers are like feverishly working to get this kind of squared up. But it's a beta, okay? So the lead's in there, I can see it. I can see Candace came off, or who was it? Kay came off of that 4407 Harborview, as did Maria Martinez as well. So the leads are making their way in here. This is an ad I posted last night. It's generated 2 leads already today. One of these other ads has generated a lead today. Okay. From this point, what I want to show you guys is kind of, so this is the ad, right? This is what the actual ad looks like when it's running in Facebook. So you can see how much of the wording, it's about 3 lines of that wording that kind of shows up without them having to kind of click to view more of that. Now, let's say let's talk for a second. What do we do? Like, how do we target the ads? I don't know if anybody's ever seen the Social Dilemma. It's a documentary on Netflix, and it talks all about kind of these social networks, and it talks a lot about Facebook and Google. And when you understand like Facebook's business model and how it's built, it is built to deliver your ad, right? Our ad that we're building for you. Facebook's built to put that ad in front of the person that is most likely to click on that ad. Okay. So that's the first thing. We let Facebook go out and determine who's the best person to put it in front of, because at the end of the day, Facebook wants your advertising dollars, right? They want our advertising dollars. And so it behooves them to put the ad in front of the person that's most likely to click on it. Now, there is a geographic component, Rebecca, where we are targeting kind of around that property in a certain radius, right? And depending on the density and how many people live in that area, it might be a little bit wider, a little bit less broad, right? And that's kind of part of the algorithm that we built in there to determine kind of how wide do we go based on like population densities and things like that. But we're letting Facebook target it, okay, for the most part. Now, what happens over time, we actually help Facebook get better at targeting these ads, because what we do is, as people hit these ads, right, when they land on your website, and we'll talk about that in just a second, because there's some really important kind of things that happen there. But when they land on your website, we put a pixel on their browser where Facebook can then see what they do once they're on the site. And so we've got some kind of events set up where we say, look, Facebook, when people come from these ads, right, and this is the page that they land on, and we'll talk about these pages in a second, because this is a little bit different from just the normal listing page. This is like the normal listing page on your site for this property, right? But when we run an ad, we create these kind of unique landing pages for the property with things like schedule a showing, for example. So this is an event that we have set up. And what we do is, look, right now we've got 40 people that are running these ads, and we're starting to collect this data that tells us Facebook, when somebody hits that ad and they land on this page, we're going to track everybody that's scheduled a showing. And when we get a big enough unit of those people, which is, we're already there basically, what we'll do then is we'll start to feed that back to Facebook and say, hey, Facebook, you sent us a bunch of people, but of the 1,000 people that you've sent us through here, right, from all these different ads that are running for everybody, that there was 60 of them that said they want to schedule a showing. We want you to find more people like this, Facebook. And this is called lookalike audiences. And so we're able to send back to Facebook these people that we know have taken the action that we really want them to take, and say, Facebook, find us more people that fit the demographic profile of these people you sent us that took that next step. So a combination of these lookalike audiences that over time, as you guys are running more ads and we're able to serve more of that lookalike audience back to Facebook, they'll get better at finding the right people to put our ads in front of, in combination with, you know, the massive amounts of data that they already have to target these ads more specifically. If you think about what you see when you're in your Facebook, like think about Facebook for a second. They have two users on Facebook. One, when they scroll through Facebook, if something real estate-y pops up, right? Pictures of houses, it could even be like their friends sharing photos of the inside of their house. When they stop on real estate related things, they slow down. Maybe they browse through a carousel ad, or even just the act of like stopping for a second and thinking about if they want to click on your ad or not, and then they scroll on. Now, let's put that against somebody who they never slow down in real estate. They just scroll right by them. I'm not thinking about looking at real estate, right? Facebook's going to show your ad again to that other person that kind of slowed down on your ad the first time, right? Their entire ecosystem is built on getting our ads in front of the right people. Okay, so when the ad runs, kind of looks like this, right? Like we saw there. Now, from here, if they click learn more, right? They're going to be brought, and I'll show you this kind of, they're going to be brought to a landing page that looks, you know, it's a Facebook form that kind of pops up inside of Facebook that immediately fills out their email address and their name. And then if Facebook has their phone number on file, it's going to fill their phone number in there. And I was actually pleasantly surprised by how many phone numbers Facebook has on file. You know, with the two-step verification for logging into Facebook, a lot of us, they have our cell phone numbers on file. And so we're seeing about 80% of the leads come in with that phone number field, like it's being auto-filled by Facebook. Now, the other 20% have to fill something in there, right? And so they could give you a bad number. But using these Facebook forms, that's the conversion is massively higher because they don't have to fill anything in. 80% of these people are just going to land on this page. They're going to be like, yep, that's good, next. And then they land on this next kind of interstitial, I'd call this. And from here, when they click see details and photos, what's going to happen is they're going to be taken to this page right here, this kind of landing page for that property, and they're going to be logged into your website already. That is a really big next step. Okay, we behind the scenes, we're telling Facebook, look, if whoever it is, if they click through on this ad, we're going to create an account for them on your website, and we're going to make them, they're going to be logged into your site. Which means if they look at this property, they can schedule a showing, right? They could do the stuff we want them to do. And when they come in here and say they want to schedule the showing, it's kind of already filled out with all of their information, right? Anytime we can make it just a little bit easier for them to take action without having to fill in a form, the better off we're going to be, right? But they could also come in here and start searching. They can start looking for other properties, right? And they're kind of that concept of getting them logged in. It's a really, really big deal. Most of the other kind of systems that are out there that allow you to do these Facebook ads, after the person clicks on the ad, sometimes you can send them to your website, or you can even send them to that listing on the website, but they're not logged in. They don't have a login to your account. And if they wanted to get logged in, they'd have to fill in their information again. right? Even though Facebook already took their information and gave it to us, they'd have to fill it out again. And that step is a really big deal, okay? I can't impress upon you guys enough how big of a deal that is, because now anything they do on here, any other properties they look at, they go off and run another search, like we're gonna see that behavior in the back end of our CRM. Ryan gets it. Ryan said, hell yeah, hell yeah. I mean, that's a big, big deal. Yeah, James, convenience for that consumer is key, right? It gets them kind of deeper into the web, right? So one really quick thing on these landing pages, you can actually build one of these kind of different style of landing pages for any one of your listings now today. And this only happens once you get marketers set up. Once you get marketers set, the Facebook component of Brivity Marketer, and we turn you on, at that point, then you'd be able to come to any property on your website, right? And I'll just go find one. Any property, I'd say, oh, this property here in Maple Falls, right? And I want to build one of those landing pages that Brivity's using to drive my Facebook stuff to. I would just do /landing. That's going to say, all right, you want to create this landing page. And right now there's one template. We've got, I think, 3 more templates coming pretty quick. But when I grab that URL, then I've got kind of this different style of landing page for that property, right? And we can see it's got all the details and it's got all the, the big photos that we can look through. If I went in and enhanced this on my Brivity website, I could add a Matterport tour, a YouTube video into this thing, and it would show kind of down here below. So we got these landing pages. You're going to have those once you get the Facebook tool set up, but a lot of people will never use these. We'll just build them on the fly every time you guys create a new ad for one of your listings. So let me take a pause. Let me answer some questions that people have had coming in, and let me tell you how you can get this set up for you. Okay. In order to get this set up for you right now, in probably another, I don't know, let's say 2 weeks, we're going to turn this on for everybody. Okay. But if you want to get it set up for yourself sooner than that, this is what you have to do. You have to run one Brivity Marketer postcard campaign. You have to run one Brivity Marketer postcard campaign. And it could be as little as 1 postcard. And the cost could be as low as 69 cents. Okay. Here's how you're going to run a Brivity, you'd come to Brivity Marketer. You go to your dashboard. You say, I got to add a new campaign, right? I'm going to do the cheap one. It's not even 69, it's 59 cents. I'm sorry. Right, I'm going to do a cheap one. Maybe I do a sphere campaign, and I'm going to call this my Get Brivity Facebook Ads, right? Get Brivity Facebook Ads campaign, right? Because I got to run a marketer. I got to send 1 postcard. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say, I want to add this campaign, right? And then I'm going to, from a CSV file, I'm going to upload 1 address. It could be my own address, right? I'm going to send a postcard to myself. It's going to cost me 59 cents. And once you go through this process, we've got our developers are standing by. Anybody that runs a postcard campaign, by the end of that day, we will stand your Facebook ad tool up. Okay. I know that's you can wait. Okay. You can wait 2 weeks and this thing will be out for everybody. Okay. But if you want to get into this beta group, and we've got about 40 people in here, we got another 7 or 8 that have run a marketer campaign in the last couple of days, and they're turning those folks on right now. Michelle, so you just sent one this morning. Let me just see here if your name is on the list that I was given to get turned on here. The last one I see is Victoria. So Michelle, we'll make sure by the end of today, we'll go through and sweep up anybody that runs 1 postcard campaign today, and it could be 1 postcard. Basically, you'd upload this, and then it's a really easy process after this to send that first postcard campaign. But we will get you your stuff turned on. Susie, I thought I saw your name on this list. Yeah. So Khalid, to run the postcard campaign, you gotta be a Brivity client. Okay. Inside of your CRM, in here and say, I want to go to the App Store, and then I want to view Brivity Marketer here, and I want to go in and get my Brivity Marketer set up. Now, once it's set up, or if you've already set it up, Khalid, you would go to brivitymarketer.com. brivitymarketer.com, and you'd log in there. That's kind of where we run our postcard campaigns from, and you'd come to this dashboard, you'd add a campaign, you kind of walk yourself through the steps of running a postcard campaign. You can reach out to our support team. We've got videos, lots of videos on how you can run one of these postcard campaigns. Victoria, I see you. I see you guys ran one on the 8th. So yours is going to get turned on here in the next like hour or two. Victoria, you guys will get access to this thing here really soon. Lisa, I see your name. I see Joel Noel, Randy Young, Sarah Volsang, Sarah Smith, Chris Demetti, Victoria Calendar, and then Lisa King. Those are the names I have right now. Akash just ran one. So again, our developers are kind of watching this thing, and they know at the end of each day, we're going to turn them on. Some of you guys that are running ones right now or just ran one, I'm going to ask them to not wait till the end of the day. We'll try to get your guys stood up as fast as possible here. So if you did want to send me an email, bob@benkinney.com, and say, hey, I ran mine, I'll make sure that the devs are turning those people on just as fast as we can. But we're in the background trying to get, you know, Sarah and Randy and Jody and Chris and Victoria and Lisa turned on right now, and those should be here in real short order. It's probably worth anybody that's on here. Let's give you guys, and I'll go in. I'm going to give you the auto plan campaign that we are running on our Ben Kinney teams on our Facebook leads. Now, it's this particular campaign I'm giving you is we're running it on our Brivity Connect, right? Which the ads are just, they look a little bit different or whatever, but the content of this campaign I'm going to give you guys, it just works for a Facebook lead. It's the 10 days of pain, and it basically in the first couple of communications says, hey, thanks for checking out my listing on Facebook. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and grab this campaign. I'm going to share a link with you guys in the chat. So let's get in here. We can see Gail's running her, we call it the Facebook carousel ads, 10 days of pain, right? She's applied this plan on 741 of her Facebook leads in here. So let's find it really quick. I'm going to share this thing with everybody, and I'm going to grab this link right here. And what I can do is paste this link right here for everybody. So if you are an account owner, you have to be the account owner. So if you're not the account owner, grab that link I just pasted to everybody and go give it to your account owner and say, hey, here's our Facebook auto plan. And if they click that, it's going to pull that auto plan into your guys' Brivity account. Okay, so if you have any problems with that, reach out to our support. They can help you get that thing pulled into your account. And then what you're going to do is you're going to set up a trigger on that thing. You're going to add a trigger for source, Brivity Facebook ads, right? Intent, buyer, status new. And then you're going to say, I want to fire the Facebook plan, right? And I would save that as a trigger. Now, Gail already has that saved as a trigger right down here. You know, she's actually doing it off of a tag, but so anybody that comes in with Brivity Facebook ads as the source of the leads, right? They're going to get that auto plan fired on them. It's the 10 days of pain. The first couple of texts say things like, hey, thanks for checking out our listing on Facebook. Were you thinking about buying, maybe selling, or curious about investing in real estate, right? And it's got another text that goes an hour later, another text goes an hour after that, text the next day. There's email sparsed in there. There's reminders for you guys to give that person a call and get a listing alert set up on them. All right. Let's go in here and see what kind of questions people have been asking. And there's a bunch of chatter in here, so let me see if I can get back. Darcy, if you want to email me directly, I can. Guys, when you go to our support team on this particular product, it's taking them a little bit longer because it's in beta, and a lot of the knowledge on this product is with like me and Jared and Josiah, and like we're still working on this thing. So support's coming to us saying, hey, there's an issue and we're having to get them answers. So they're not fully trained on this. So Darcy, if you guys, anybody who's running these Facebook ads, if you want to just come straight to me, I'm Bob at Ben Kinney. you can do that. And I'll make sure that your stuff is kind of, your issues are passed to Jared or the developers very quickly. Jonathan, yeah, good point. Jonathan, up in Canada, you guys can't run the postcard campaigns yet. So if you want to get the Facebook ad stuff turned on, Jonathan, reach out directly to me. Okay, Bob at Ben Kinney, and just say, hey, I'm in Canada, right? I need the Facebook stuff turned on, and we'll go in and turn on. There's just a little bit more work our developers have to do if you haven't run that campaign, but that's okay. We can still get the Facebook tool working for you up there, Jonathan. It's just not quite as easy as we can do it for the people that run that first marketer campaign. So Ashley says, shoot, that's the majority of our Facebook ad right now is advertising for our virtual open houses. There was let's just go in here for another second. So the virtual open houses that you guys have coming up. So here's what I might do in that case. Okay, I'd come in here and say, let's filter down. Let's say, all right, I got active listings, right? Let's say I want to run one on this guy right here again. Take a virtual tour of this home, and I could come in right here and say, we will send you the something like that, right? Like, it will be hosted on blah, blah, blah. I could put a date in here if I wanted or whatever. And then what I could do is when they went through and kind of went through the steps, right? And said, yeah, I want to do this virtual open house on Saturday at 1 o'clock. We could have an auto campaign set up where we were doing a tag on that address that said, look, fire a campaign when that lead comes in that triggers off of this address tag that sends them a link to where they can come watch that virtual tour. I don't know if you guys are doing live virtual tours, Ashley, or if you're you have recorded virtual tours that you want to deliver to somebody, but there's the potential that the auto plan could actually deliver like the link that they would go to sign up for or something of that nature. Now you're going to have them in the database, right? So you'll have opportunity to try to get them to that virtual open house, but maybe using the auto plan based on a certain tag for a certain address. Jocelyn, are Facebook ads targeted by age? That's an interesting question. They used to be. Housing ads, we used to have the ability, really before the 2016 election, we used to have the ability to do a lot more advertising options. Today, Jocelyn, that is actually a violation of fair housing. And so we have realtors today, there's a special ad category on Facebook called housing ads. And when you say, okay, my ad is a housing ad, which all of ours are, and if you try to run a housing ad and you don't check that, you're going to get caught, and sometimes they will ban your advertising account. Yeah, so these things we're not limiting 18 to 21-year-olds or anything like that because it's illegal, right? So we're letting Facebook handle that. Now you think about, well, we're just giving it to Facebook and saying, hey, everybody. Now what Facebook's doing with that thing, Jocelyn, I'm going to guess they're less likely to serve that ad up to an 18-year-old kid that they know is in college and doesn't have a job than they are to serve that ad up to, me, right? Who they know how much I make, they know where I work. So yeah, we let Facebook do it. We're not doing, any nefarious activities here. The ads do go into the housing category, which means we lose that ability to, we can't target ethnicities or ages or things that are a violation of the Fair Housing Act. So great question. Jocelyn, thank you for letting me kind of clarify that that's the case. This is awesome. Are you able to show an example of a running Facebook ad on an existing sale or sold to be used as leverage possible? No, I can't right now. There's so few, like I would have to get served up one of those ads. I probably could have logged into Jared's, but I mean, it literally looks like this is the example of the running ad right here, but showing it to you in Facebook, if I'm here in Bellingham and Ben's team's running a ton of ads, there's a pretty high likelihood that at some point today, I'm going to get their ad, but right now I haven't seen it. I've just got to Bellingham. I've been down in Seattle, and right now, I don't know that there's anybody in Seattle that of the first group of 40 that we turned onto this thing that would be running ads where I might have seen one. Now, I would absolutely be somebody that saw one because my wife and I are looking for a house right now, and I guarantee Facebook knows that, right? We're in Gail's account now to create an ad. I actually want to go into Jared's. But that's a great question. I apologize that I didn't bring one of these ads. It's just this thing is so new for us. I haven't seen one in the wild yet. I've seen a bunch of them kind of back in our test environments and stuff, but the actual ad itself, like I said, it looks just like we see right there, right? So Rebecca, here's what I'll tell you, and it's early, right? And a lot of the advertising we were running so far in this thing was in the month of December. And advertising is really seasonal. And you think about Facebook, they have a certain amount of people using Facebook, right? And look, they've got some control over that. They can send us more notifications to get us in there using it more, to create more ad inventory space or whatever, right? When you think about like December, there was tons of advertising being run in December by like consumer products, right? Christmas time. And so when you get these influx of advertising dollars, and then in November we have the election, all the election spend going in there, right? We're competing with all these advertisers. But here's what we have found so far. We've been doing a lot of testing up here in Bellingham, Washington, and we've been doing a fair amount of testing in Salt Lake City, Utah. Now, we've got 40 people that have been testing this thing around all over the country as well. But in the extensive stuff we've done in Bellingham, our average cost per lead, I'm almost hedged to even say this. In Bellingham right now, our average cost per lead has been about 86 cents. In Salt Lake City, the average price per lead has been up at like $1.70 a lead. Those numbers are still staggering, absolutely staggering in terms of the value, right? The cost per lead. Well, Jared and I were talking about this earlier. I think that in Bellingham, they're cheaper because this market, the inventory is massively tight. And you got a lot of buyers out there that are looking for a property, and most of the stuff we're running are brand new listings, right? So when we get a brand new listing, we put that thing up there, and we've got this market in Bellingham where there's buyers just pining for another listing. I think that's why we're getting them a little bit cheaper in Bellingham than we're getting them in Salt Lake City. Yeah, Chris, it creates the tags for you. So it's going to tag it. It's going to give it a source of Brivity Facebook ads. It's going to give it a tag of Brivity Facebook ads. And then it's going to give it a tag with the address of the property that you ran the ad for. Right now, Angela, they're just for new listings. Okay. We're going to have a whole set. The recruiting is a great idea, by the way, but the next set of things that we're going to allow you to run out of here are going to be like sold and home valuation ads. Okay. And then after that, we do have a few different things plotted. Recruiting is on that list, but I don't know how fast it's going to be. It's definitely going to be behind the ability for us to try to go out and generate seller leads for you guys, which is kind of the next component that will work into this thing, where we're driving them to your home valuation pages and trying to get them to give us their address, right? So that would be the next one that's coming up, Angela. Chris, we got yours. Rachel, if you email me at bob@benkinney, I can definitely get you a link for the webinar we did, or the training we did on the postcard marketing stuff. Oh, will hyperlinks show up in the ad, Ryan? That's a really, really good question. I know on Instagram they won't, right? Instagram doesn't allow clickable things in the description. I'm going to say no, Ryan. I don't know that for a fact, but I'm going to guess that if you put a URL into the description there, I don't think it would be clickable. I mean, somebody could highlight it and copy and paste it or whatever. I guess my question would be like, what would you want to put in there? Why would you kind of deviate that? Because that, whatever you put in there, wherever you send them, they're not going to be logged in, right? So if you're sending them some page on your website, so I would just be careful with that. It kind of becomes a distraction from what we really want them to do, which is click that, learn more. So they get the Facebook form, which is already pre-filled out for them. Let's see here. So Jean-Baptiste, that you said, I got a lot of people relocating to our area. Can the ads be targeted towards specific areas? No, right now it's going to use kind of an algorithm based on where that property is located. And it's going to market to that city. So he's like, hey, I'm down in Miami and we got a bunch of people from Jersey that relocate down here. Right now inside of here, you can't kind of change the targeting on that thing. Our Brivity Connect product, which we manage for you, I know we do have campaigns going for people that get a lot of relocation buyers, like Bellingham, up in Bellingham with our Brivity Connect product. We're running relocation ads to people down in Seattle because a lot of the tech folks down there are moving up to Bellingham because they don't have to be in their offices anymore. Victoria, shoot our support that. Sorry that auto plan's not working for you. Or Victoria, throw your email address in there and I'll just share it to your guys' account here really fast, since I can be logged into Gail's account in no time at all. If you want to do that, I can get it set up for you there. I'm done here. I don't got anything else, but I'll sit here for a little bit, answer questions, help Victoria get her, oops, I want to go into Gail's account here. Victoria, shoot your email address in here for me. There it is, steve@thecollandergroup.com. Sweet, I'll grab that and you can watch me put this in your account here, Victoria. And I'll come over here and show you. We'll use these last 13 minutes and I'm going to take, oh, that's not where I wanted to go. I'm going to take Victoria's deal. Victoria, I'm going to pull it in for you guys. And then I'm going to go and check a couple little things on that auto plan to make sure that we make the proper adjustments for it to be ready to go in your guys' account. And I may even set the trigger up for you if you give me the okay. So let's go in here. We'll do settings. We're going to go find that auto plan of Gail's again. That's our Facebook auto plan. And it is right here. And I will just share it with you this way. Steve, share it there. It'll tell me, yep, shared with that account. Now let's jump over to your guys' account really quick. And I won't show anybody all the awesome leads you guys have in here. I'll just jump right back into Steve's auto plan section, Victoria. So Chris, I'll answer your question in just a second. If you want to put your email address in, by the way, Chris, I'll log into your account. We'll look and see what's happening right there. So I'm going to come here, Victoria, to your auto plans. I'm going to go look at the ones that are shared with you. I'm going to grab this carousel one, add it to your plans really quick, jump over here to the people plans. In the people plans, we're going to go find that carousel ads, and then we're going to just do a quick edit on it. And the thing that I'm looking for in this edit is right here, because you guys are not the Ben Kinney team. And so I need to come in here. Victoria, type in for me really quick. You guys are called the Colander Group. So the Colander Group, is that right? Yep, cool. Okay, so that one's good. We'll save that one. The only other place that we use the name of the team or whatever is right in here. So you guys, again, are not the Ben Kinney team. You are the Colander Group. Boom. Save. All right. You will, Victoria, want to go through this and just kind of read each one of these texts that are going to get sent out here, right? Make sure, like, for example, there's one about, good afternoon, my client provides a client appreciation program. That's something that's either, Ben has his own mortgage company. So in our markets where we have BKCO mortgage, that's an offer we make. We also have the Keller mortgage if you're a Keller Williams agent, right? So you just kind of got to make sure that the offers that are being made in this, Victoria, are good for you guys and you're comfortable responding to whatever, somebody might come back and say because of that. So there you go. Let me just see Chris. All right, let me log into Chris's account. So he's saying, so we're going to go into Brivity Marketer here as Brivity Marketer. We'll do it as Chris really fast. Oops. Chris at I think I spelled that right, Chris. All right, let's see here. So we've got some stuff loading up here. So what we'd want to do is we'd want to come down to this profile section right here, Chris. And we'd want to see, like, is this, so it looks like, that doesn't look like your MLS number. That looks like somebody else's, right? And so what you'd want to do is, I don't know if that's one of the people on your team, your business partner. Maybe you're like, I don't know whose that is. You just either come in here and change this or just add yours in here. And this is where yours, this is where that is your MLS ID. Okay, but these are not your listings. Is that what you're saying on this dashboard? Oh, you're saying, okay, so let me read your comment again here, Chris. I don't have listings in Brivity Marketer, but it's automatic. So you're saying these are not your listings? 7900 Catella is not your listing? Chris went dark on me. Chris, if you want to reach out to me, just shoot me an email, Bob@BenKinney, and we can get in here and figure out what's going on here. Like it seems to think 7900 Catella is your listing. It's not. I'm assuming it is because you actually sent this postcard already under the listings button, he says. Okay, so let's get in here. Ah, there it is. No listings meet the current filtering criteria. Interesting. Okay. All right, Chris, I'll have somebody look at this right now, buddy. And we'll see why they're coming in here, but they're not coming in here. We'll get that figured out for you. Let me write a note on that one. All right. Okay, Rachel, you guys, you can hit me, support@Brivity. You can come directly to me. We'll spend some time here in the next hour kind of sorting these out and getting them to the right people to respond to you guys and help you get your listings in there. Looks like a bunch of you guys are having that issue. Okay. Okay. Oh, I know why. I know why that is. We haven't turned the Facebook feed on for you guys yet. That's why. Okay. So you got to either, if you've ran that first postcard campaign, which Chris, you have, we'll get this thing turned on. And when we actually turn the ad tool on for you, that's when listings will feed into that deal. I think that's the issue for all of you guys that that are not seeing listings in there because you don't have it actually turned on. You'll know it's turned on because you'll see the paid ads option over here on the left. And right now, I don't see that here, which means it's not turned on. And so we'll get, I know for sure, Lisa, Jody, Randy, Sarah, Chris, Victoria, your guys' will get turned on. And then the rest of you guys, if you run that first postcard campaign, we'll be looking at the end of each day to see who's run one of those things. And those people will be getting turned on. And in about 2 weeks, we'll turn everybody on to be able to run this thing without ever having to have run a postcard campaign. I'm going to let you guys go. Bob@benkinney.com, support@brivity.com. Either one of those, we can help you. Appreciate you guys taking the time. We're really excited about this. It's in beta. Your feedback is appreciated. Lisa, we'll talk to you guys later. Bye, Darcy. Thank you, James. I appreciate you, buddy. Ryan, hell yeah, is right. Ooh, Chris. All right, bud. We'll talk to you guys soon. Have an awesome rest of your week. My name is Bob Stewart on behalf of James, who's answering all your guys' questions, and Mikey and Samantha who get you here. Appreciate them. Bye-bye, everybody.